My name is Raman Srivastava, Portfolio Manager and Managing Director of Global Fixed Income at Standish Mellon Asset Management. We've been in an environment which has been very favorable for global bonds over the past few years, and in fact over the past few decades. What's been helpful for global bonds, and if you think about why people invest in bond funds, they invest in bond funds for safety, for liquidity, and for return. The return component for global bonds has been good because we've been in an environment where interest rates started very high and gradually have come down to almost record low levels. This has been a very good environment for returns in the global fixed income marketplace. It's also been an environment more recently where we've seen central banks across the globe be very accommodative in their policies. Now, going forward, this is beginning to change. So one of the challenges we have today as global fixed income investors is as yields are lower and as spreads are lower, central banks are beginning to change policy. How do you deliver that return to investors going forward? One way you can deliver returns to investors going forward, given the low yield environment that we're in today, is to expand your opportunity set. It's to look at different countries, it's to look at different sectors. One thing to realize in global fixed income markets is that not all bonds are created equal. Not all bonds are the same. So we look for opportunities where we can attack rates in markets where even though interest rates might be rising in, say, for example, Canada, interest rates might be rising in the US, there may be other markets where interest rates could be falling at the same time. So, for example, we've taken positions in Portugal government bonds, where even though interest rates have been rising in the US and rising in Canada, interest rates actually fell in Portugal at the same time. That's an example of what we're trying to do with this fund, look for global opportunities and be tactical in our approach to managing the fund. I think looking ahead, one thing we all have to realize is that we are in a different environment than what we've been in the past. Central bank policy, which has been globally coordinated and very easy, is slowly beginning to change. China, for example, is beginning to tighten policy slowly. The US, on the margin, is beginning to tighten policy and will continue to do so. So it's no longer a situation where all markets are acting the same. I think the keys to success going forward in the fixed income markets are going to be, number one, be able to identify the opportunities that exist globally. Number two, be able to tactically allocate to those opportunities. And number three, which is a bit more subtle, but make security selection and bond picking relevant for the returns in a fixed income portfolio. At Standish, with our breadth of analysts, both in the US and in places like Europe and places like Asia, we have the ability to go and research in depth all of these opportunities, but given our asset base, which is reasonable in size, we can actually be active in how we allocate between these different opportunities and also make security selection very relevant. And I think that's a very important consideration in investing in global fixed income as we look ahead into the future.